Go big or go home, yeah, we're making it massive, so tall. I'm out of this world, like I'm calling out to Earth. No, the sky's not the limit, so every day, every chance we flip the plan in this planet, I go big.
This is Olivia Southridge. Yeah, Olivia Southridge. What kind of polish do you use on that 5-head, though?
I don't follow the Not Wallace
Right.
prescription for like wax in my head. So man, my 5-head. Okay, she better look over to the left on this split screen view and take a look at yours.
That's fine. That's fine. She wouldn't have 10 heads with band directors coming up, I guess. So that's good.
That's right, man.
Right.
10 heads better than 2, I guess, right?
I guess so. Sam Williams, Southridge Junior High. What's the deal with airline food?
Man, it depends on which class you fly in, man. If you fly like business or first class, the food's on point, man. If you fly in coach, man, you get your bag of peanuts and go on about your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's with all this traffic?
I don't know, man. I've noticed that, like, when I've gone to the grocery store and stuff too, man, there's a lot of people out for everything being all shut down and stuff. You know what I mean? That is a good question.
And then he follows this line of questioning with, what's with this weather? Am I right?
It's springtime in Oklahoma, bro. You all right. It is what it is.
Jonathan from Southridge. Ooh, interesting. What is your favorite band, high school or junior high?
Man, that's a trick question right there.
Yeah, it
man.
is. Yeah. Sure.
God, jeez. I'm about to get in trouble one way or the other here, aren't I?
Yep, absolutely.
If you would have asked me before I started teaching, I would have said high school, because you're able to use their already encompassed knowledge to help make things happen in a beautiful way. But being a junior high director right now in my career, man, I love junior high band. I love the discovery of junior high band. I mean, you teach them everything. You teach them how to open a case. You teach them how to read music. Like, I really do enjoy that facet of teaching band. So I think my answer right now is junior high band. Yeah.
Gabriella from Southridge asks, what is your favorite food?
Sushi.
Sushi?
Yeah, I haven't had sushi in a while either, man. I'm missing some sushi, man.
Yeah, sushi gross, but that's fine. Fine. Grace McLaughlin, Southmore High School. What is your favorite brass line memory?
My favorite brass line memory, this goes back to 2011. My favorite brass line memory is the first year that we finished top 6 at OBA. And we were warming up at Broken Arrow High School in between Broken Arrow and Union High School, who were both Grand National finalists. And being able to experience that with a group of kids that had worked so hard to establish themselves as one of the premier groups in the state. And it was just this moment where they had a realization and I had a realization that we were where we belonged.
Craig Lane, what is your greatest life achievement?
My son.
Mm-hmm.
My son, yeah.
Jasmine Cash, Southridge Junior High. Brass or woodwind, Mr. Street?
And they asked me to pick favorites and stuff.
Yeah.
I always, man, I follow the Clifton rule, man. I don't really have favorites. I like them both for different reasons. I like the power of brass. I like the finesse and technique of woodwinds. I mean, I'm a clarinet player that likes to play brass instruments too. I mean, so I don't know that I can answer that question without saying both.
I see Jasmine forgot to put percussion in there, Jasmine. I see that, but that's fine. All right. Camille from Southridge. Same question. Which do you like more, brass or woodwind? Percussion is probably the best, so we've kind of gone to that one. And then Camille also asked, if you had to choose between chocolate or vanilla, which would you choose?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Chick-fil-A is McDonald's? Question.
I'm assuming that that's probably supposed to be an or, Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. So I'll fix the question. I'll grammar police on my own here. Chick-fil-A or McDonald's? Pre-game meal or post-game meal?
I think this is gonna be let's go pre-game.
Pre-game Chick-fil-A for sure. Post-game McDonald's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Post-game McDonald's. I get that. Abby from Southmore. Abby B. So I'm assuming this is Blingmo. How are you?
Struggling. How am I? I'm struggling, man. I'm like, dude, I miss my kids. I miss my normal. I miss seeing the kids every day. I'm gonna be okay. I mean, we're all gonna be okay at the end of this. I mean, but like in the moment right now, this is a struggle for me. I really do miss being around all of my friends. I miss being around all of the kids. I love my family to death, but sometimes you need that separation to realize that you love them even more. So yeah, I think right now the word is struggling.
Clara Wilson also asks, how are you? So these people are concerned about you. Good for you. Have you watched Tiger King?
No.
No. Now, notice Mr. Clifton did watch Tiger King. That's how I would have played that. I think that's how I would have guessed too.
I saw that he watched that. I'm actually enamored that he watched it, but not so enamored that he watched it that I'm like screaming to Netflix to go watch Tiger King. So.
Got it. Jackson John, Southridge Junior High. Which Batman actor is your favorite?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was the OG. I mean, unless you go way back to Adam West. I mean, but that was really cartoony. I feel like Michael Keaton's probably the one. And if anybody says Val Kilmer is the one, like they need to have their Batman card taken away.
Ooh, good question. I love this question. What is your favorite movie score?
Wow. The New Moon and the Old Moon's Arms. It's a really, really obscure independent film. From the late or mid to late 90s, but it's a Michael Kamen composition. I like Michael Kamen's writing a lot, but that one speaks to me. It's just beautiful.
And he also asked, what is your favorite bird?
My favorite bird, cardinal.
Cardinal. All right. Claire Jones asked, what was your first impression of Mr. Mewhorter? Interesting question, Claire.
That is an interesting question.
Interesting question.
Mr. Mewhorter and I got to work together for the very, very first time at Moore High School in 2005. The fall of 2005 was his first voyage into this district. So that's kind of where we met. Mr. Mewhorter at the beginning was the turn off the lights guy, and I found out really, really quickly that Mr. Mewhorter knew what was going on, and we had a lot in common, and we had a lot of things that we shared ideology wise, and that developed fairly quickly. I think that first year. So, but yeah, at the beginning, I thought you were a percussion tech. Man, I didn't know you were the band director of Highland West. I thought you were a tech like me, man. So that's how we got to meet each other.
That's true. All right, Claire asked, what's your favorite band memory?
Well, I mean, I'm probably not very different from a lot of band kids. I mean, it tends to roll back to marching band because that's where we do band all together. My band experiences wasn't very much different than what their band experience is right now. We have multiple bands in the spring and all that. My most vivid favorite memory is my senior year OBA finals. Coming off the field, we had done a really good job, but we had our center snare. His name was Tom McGillen. He's fairly prominent in the marching arts still. He's an audio specialist. Works for the Cavaliers and did for Broken Arrow and all that stuff. But we were in band together, and he had fallen during OBA finals. And made an amazing recovery to get back in the show, dropped some sticks, and like had to rip his scoop off his snare the whole 9 yards, threw it into the front side. Like, it was crazy. It's on the video. Everything's cool. But my favorite memory was my interaction with him after we got off the field. He was pretty distraught because he thought he cost us a chance at the state championship, which, I mean, may or may not be true. Who knows? I mean, I don't know how judges think about all that kind of stuff, but I just remember hugging him and telling him how much I loved him and how proud I was of him of being able to get back in the show and to keep going. And I think that's probably the memory that sticks with me the most and I fall back to in my high school experience.
What was your first impression of Mr. Clifton?
Mr. Clifton and I met at the very, very first sophomore rehearsal, and he was really, really quiet. Kind of trying to take things in, I think, is the way he would describe it. And everything was a little wide-eyed. I don't know that he had done band in the way that we were trying to do band at that point. And what I found out really, really quickly was how well he could connect to the students, and be able to have a relationship with those kids that they would do anything for him. And I try to emulate that as much as I can because it's a fantastic quality. And I think that's probably one of the first things that I noticed about him.
Awesome. Matty Eberly from Southmore. How much sleep do you get now?
I'm an 8 hours guy, man. Now my schedule has shifted a little bit. I mean, it used to be like 10 to 6. Now it's about midnight to about 8. Yep. So yeah, I don't got to get up early for anything at this point, man. My email starts going off at 8, so that's when I get up.
What instrument will Nathan be playing next year?
He wants to start on trumpet, and he wants to play French horn.
Good for him.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
And then how long ago did you and Mrs. Street meet?
We met in 1994. In the summer of 1994, we were doing drum corps for a drum corps called Suncoast Sound. They don't exist anymore, just a memory. If you go and find a picture of the Air Force Academy graduation where they're throwing all the hats up in the air, that's actually what Suncoast Sound looked like. We wore the exact same uniform. As a matter of fact, when I say the exact same uniform, the uniform jackets were Air Force Academy jackets that were donated to the drum corps to utilize as uniforms, which is really cool. They even had the Air Force buttons on them. I don't know how they were allowed to keep those, but They did. So, yeah. But we met doing drum corps. It was a really, man. When I say it's a chance meeting, I don't know how much more I can elaborate on chance meeting. I mean, I only ended up at Suncoast because my drum corps, Black Gold, out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, which Mr. Mewhorter actually marched as well in '93, went under. We folded. The corps went bankrupt, and they didn't field a corps. They haven't actually fielded a corps ever since then. So we met in that regard. She was in the color guard. And I went there to play euphonium and ended up being the conductor for the drum corps. And the very, very first show of the season was in Cary, North Carolina. We scored a 43.25. And she opened the show on the 50-yard line. And they did a pass-through of a company front pass-through the color guard and the horn line members. And she was on the 50-yard line, and she did a passe as she was passing through, and her foot got caught in her pants, and she fell down on the 50-yard line. That was kind of the first time I recognized I really, really paid attention because I was in way over my head, man. Like, you know how drum corps is, man. I was in way over my head, bro. But yeah, that's how we met, is on drum corps. I asked her to sit. Well, the way the story goes is she was sitting with another guy on the bus, and he happened to not be sitting in the seat, and I went up and sat next to her and told her that I thought we should get to know each other a little bit better, that I thought she was cute, and she ended up in the back of the bus sitting next to me. So that's how we met.
Anthony from Southmore, what was your favorite year of marching band?
Okay, I mean, like that's
Yeah.
an easy answer. I mean, that's a forevermore. I mean, like hands down, like it was we man. It's lasted this long. It's left an indelible impression on a lot of people's lives. I mean, like it was one of the best things I think ever to come out of the marching band arena.
I do too. I think literally, without overselling it, maybe one of the best there was for the time, especially was in. What places would you like to visit?
I'd love to go to Germany. I'd love to go. I'd love to go back to Germany. I was fortunate enough to spend a little bit of time in Germany when I was in the military, but I'd like to go back and see more of the country. It's just a beautiful country.
Anvin from Southmore, do you drink boba tea? If not, would you try it?
No, and no. It looks
Got it?
like there's bugs in it, man. Like, nah, dude. I got it.
And then Landon Moss is more of a request than a question. Will you put my little brother in his place?
Man, Landon knows the answer to that question before he even asked it. I mean, so.
No, absolutely. Any final thoughts? I've been doing a couple of these interviews. I like to ask, things you didn't get in, opportunity to kind of talk to the band a little bit. What would you say?
I would say that I'm very prideful to be able to do what I love to do with a group of kids that are passionate about doing the things that they do. We have incredible kids in our band program. They're capable of so much. They achieve so much. They work really, really hard. That I know that in the time of uncertainty that we're in, I mean, like we don't know what's happening next week or 2 months from now necessarily, depending on where you live or what you're doing. I think the thing that sticks with me the most in that is what they've lost is something that's hard to replace. We talk about being process related organization. We're not a results related organization. We're a process related organization. The hours and hours that we spend together trying to perfect our craft, so to speak, whether that be in marching band or in either of the indoor groups or in any of the 3 jazz ensembles, or any of the 3 concert bands or any of the chamber music groups. I think that time it's important for everybody to realize that it's easy to take things for granted. While you may not be enjoying things in the moment, the long-term ramifications of not having them are pretty astounding. I think it's safe to say that we're all struggling with this in our own ways. I can't imagine what the seniors are going through. I mean, I watch the videos and talk to them, but I know how my brain's working right now. Trying to make contingency plans for something that's completely unknown, and you keep falling through the same rabbit holes. So I think what I would say to everybody is that I'm very proud of you all for everything that you achieve on a year-to-year basis. I'm proud to be involved with an organization that pursues excellence, with a group of kids that allow that pursuit of excellence to occur. Even when it's hot outside or it's too cold outside, or you got 7 finals coming up in 5 classes, it's even when all that stuff's going on, they still come to band and they still work for each other. And I think that that's a very respectable thing to be associated with. So I'm proud of everybody. I'm proud of our staff, and I love you all tremendously and miss you all tremendously. I can't tell you or really even put into words how much I miss everybody.
Well, thanks for doing this interview, and thanks for everyone who submitted questions. I think we'll interview Mr. Church next, and then I've got to talk to Dr. Wallace. He's going to be willing to do this, so we'll just continue this series and help get us through this time a little bit, talking to each other. So thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely, man.
I just wave. Bye. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
I go big. I go big. I go big.